right, everybody, welcome back to Gear Talk. This is episode 9. I'm here with Bane, Lem, Neva. So, a little bit different, a little bit of an announcement for this first part. We have kind of opened up the 780 EXE Discord a little bit. Neva has created kind of like a public lobby, so to speak. So, if you have questions, and you want to actively be a part of Gear Talk, hit me up in Discord as a DM, or you can comment on this video and I can get a hold of you. I can send you an invite. So that way, next weekend or whenever you have questions, you can jump in. We can get your questions answered. You could be a part of this. Also, we have kind of opened up the Pimp My Arc a little bit. So we do have a couple of 780 people that are interested. They will take priority. However, if you are not on 780 and you do want to have a Pimp My Arc done on your arc, go ahead, same thing, hit me up in Discord. I can get your information and then we can set you up with a schedule. Just so you know ahead of time, we do this on Sunday. The time frame is a little bit flexible when it comes to Pit My Arc, but it kind of depends on when the hosts are available. We can talk about that in Discord if you're interested. So I want to thank all you guys for showing up, watching these videos. I want to thank Neva, Lem, and Bane. Uh, just wanted to put that out there so you can be more a part of this if you choose to. Uh, Thanks EXE for allowing that to happen. So it's not just 780; it's more of the community, and that's what we do this for. It's for the whole community, not just 780. Uh, so we're gonna go ahead and get Gear Talk started. It might not be that long. We don't have a lot of questions. I don't think we got a couple. But yeah, Neva, you want to give your intro real quick?
Yeah, I'm Neva, and this is Gear Talk. That's pretty much all I got today. Bane, on you, sir.
I'm Batman.
God
damn it.
damn it. Yeah.
All right, so we got a question, man. Right before the session and everything. Let's go ahead and get that started and everything. Then we'll get it answered for you, brother. So, what was your question, brother?
Is that me?
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Sure, that was me. So when running Satalia, is it better to have double Elcades, double Elder Barons, or a combo of like a hybrid build of it? What have you seen in your testing of it?
So, in my testing with Tag and everything, man, I noticed that the way she works is all about her skills, right, and talents, right. So, the way she works with her life absorb and everything, you want to do a little bit more damage. So you want to go more hybrid than you do straight tank or straight attack because you still want to have some tankiness with her because you're gonna be running her with time walkers and up front and everything with some tankiness to them and everything. You're gonna be running like the damage reduction builds such as Beetlejuice pants or regular pants or Nanto pants, for the extra accuracy and crit with her. So they're a really good pants choice on her. Chest piece, you're probably gonna be running. It's just a varies on that, but I figured Ambition was probably a fun piece for her to run because you're not really necessarily tanking her out, but it does give you that additional crit with her. As far as the weapons, I think, and the thing is with the Outer Baron is like it gives you that HP, which is pretty good, but in the crit wither, which is also pretty good, so you're tanking a little bit better with all that crit wither, but you don't want to run dual Outer Baron because you're not getting any effect out of your
attack.
Exactly, because you're not getting anything out of your second, your skill, your life absorb skill, which is healing you back. So you're gonna run one like an Alcade. I mean, I run personally, I like a Broken Fortress on there, but I do think Outer Baron may be a decent combination. You just have to try to tweak it in your testing and everything. But I do think that with her, you want to find that perfect balance of attack and tankiness to it. So that's the reason why she's a little bit difficult to run. But at the same time, once you get her dialed in, she can be pretty nasty. So yeah, I think the Outer Baron Alcade would be a better option than a dual Alcade, personally. Because if you're running a dual Alcade, you might as well go to a tank system. You know what I mean? It's just that simple. That way you can build up that high ramp and everything, and then you want to stick to like your, you can run time walkers and everything like that. If you want to be focusing on your blue hunt. So with Natalia, I've noticed that with the way her skill works as well. Voids are okay, but they just get they're just voids are a little bit too squishy, right? So you're gonna want to run like your time walkers obviously because that's the key. You don't have to have those, but you want to run blue hunks as well because that extra attack damage with her and with her regular first skill works, and you're absorbing that extra damage as well, and you turn it onto your opponent. It ramps up pretty fast, and with those blue hunks, as hard as they hit in that back row, it definitely damages. So I think you're in the right direction with that, thinking that Alcade Outer Baron, because I do think it gives you that little bit of tankiness that you need. But make sure you're gymming it right. You know what I mean? And I won't discuss exactly how to gym her and everything, but just make sure you gym it right. I can show you that in PM.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Any more questions about it? And that's the fun thing about this Italian man is like she's something that's not. She's not an expected common. I mean, she's really different to run. It's not like
Something for
she's not a
walkers to actually use walkers.
Yeah, she's not full blown tank, and that's the thing.
No.
That's the reason why you never seen her a lot before, because everybody thought of her as a full on tank commander, right? She's not.
Mhm.
She's not a full on tank commander at all. You want some tankiness, yes, because of course with walkers you want to take advantage of what they have, and everything, and they have the healing field talent, which is amazing. They have interference field, which is amazing. They have power of walkers, which is amazing. So you want to take advantage of all those talents with her, right? So I mean, you want to have a little bit of tankiness that way you can have some survivability. And don't get me wrong, I mean, a very well built black or a very well built DS still gonna fuck her. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And tank busters still will fuck her. I mean, which is what is supposed to happen anyway in this type of game because it's more that rock paper scissors matchup, But she has that extra heal, and that's what makes her special. She has a lot of different heals. She's taking a lot of your damage away, and she's punching holes in you. At least that's the way I've set mine up. I think there's a little bit different combos and everything, and actually
Well,
brought me.
plus the fact she steals the attack when she hits.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's another thing.
Yep. So I think that Nantos would be eventual switch over for your pants because that gives you that extra accuracy. That means the more you're hitting with, especially with that when that soul absorb triggers, the more you're going to be still in their attacks. That's less damage you're going to be taking, but it's also more damage you're going to be taking and doing. Excuse me. And that's when it gets fun. Because like I said, it ramps and it ramps up fast, a lot faster than you would think it does. I think that's how she's able to walk through some of a lot of different elf builds.
Yeah, I've seen it walking through Elf and Orochi. Orochi pretty easy, honestly. That feels like a great Orochi counter.
Oh yeah. Satya is an amazing Orochi counter. The Orochi stands no chance, but that's typically, I mean, with Elf, she's an Orochi counter too, right? If you've got high level status quo and the leadership and everything like that. But
So is Zoida.
yeah,
That's what I saw with GC was I was able to kill her through Orochi. So
yeah, and see that's also because of status quo. Status quo is an amazing thing to have, right? Especially when you're a tank walker. So so your status quo really comes into play against your Orochi. But the difference between an elf and a Satalia against an Orochi is Satalia can wipe out the entire mark, all of it, every single
without
bit of that
losing,
mark
without losing much.
without 200-300.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Elf could do the same thing depending on the build on the Orochi because there is one build that we have found out that will wipe Elf out on Orochi. Orochi will wipe Elf out, but I mean, there again, you're doing the one thing that you want to do as a team playing game, and that is making someone change their build up.
Well,
exactly.
How did you see your Satalia doing against Craig?
It depends, honestly. So, like, of course, with regular Craigs, she walks them. I mean, that's just happening anyway because any type of tank infantry shouldn't never go up against a tank walker, regardless.
That's what I found.
Yeah.
That's what's making me question switching to Satalia. Like the one thing I found with Zoidus is I can walk Craigs, like all Craigs.
Yeah,
And
but see, the only problem.
not even 50 gear.
Well, the one thing that I did notice is those 3-piece Craigs are kind of nasty. That you'll lose a little bit more troops. You can still
Yep.
walk them, but those 3-piece Craigs are kind of nasty. Depends on, especially if it's built the right way. So I
Yeah.
mean, it can hurt, but
There's not many 3-piece Craigs though. There's really not
no,
many 3-piece Craigs.
no. And of course, that opens, and if they switching up that to a 3-piece Craig, it opens them up to even more things that they can get countered by. So, um, no, don't get me wrong. There's some really, really meta Craigs out there, and that we won't discuss exactly how to build them or anything like that. But I mean, that can walk a lot of things. But at the same time, Satalia, she does the job of what she's able to counter, but plus she beats Elf. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like her
Yeah, I can't.
because
I have a hard time
she
with
can
Alpha
kill.
Zoid right now. So
Yeah, she kills Craig. She walks Craig. She walks Orochi. She walks Reinhardt. Anything tank, she'll walk. Elf. She'll walk all over Elf unless it's like extremely outnumbers her with leadership, and then it'll more time. Then it'll time out. But you don't have to. The fun fact about Satya, you don't have to be max lead to run her. I don't have. I'm not even running a max lead march. I don't even have a. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even run a full max lead march. I think I run like what 1.4 worth of leadership or something on it because of lack of troops right now. So you don't have to be max lead with her. But if you are max lead with her, you can really walk elves like they're nothing. I mean, and you're taking their whole marches, everything they got. And it's fun. It's a lot of points. But on the opposite hand, if you get hit, you're losing a lot of points too. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta watch out for those builds that do counter you, such as blacks, like extreme most blacks actually. But you can
So,
actually
gotta
even
watch out for lag.
you gotta watch out for lag. Exactly.
pretty much it.
You got to watch out for the fun fact about Satalia too, though, is she can be DS. Not all DSs, but she can beat a good amount of the builds out there for DS, and she can walk it too. So
That's because of the crit. That's because of the crit with her.
I think it's a mixture because I don't run a lot of crit with her in my build. So I think it's a mixture of like just the fact that you're with that
I
additional
think
crit with
it's
her will
a
help. But
I think it's a mixture of the crit with her and her skill, to be honest with you,
yeah,
because I mean she is stealing their attack.
and
So
she's
the
healing
bit
back when
you
she needs
hit
to.
and you steal it, and then you're also healing.
Exactly. So I mean, like I think it more along the lines of the Regulus was it actually helps out with that too, with mine at least, because she's able to absorb a lot of that damage in that first hit, and she also has that heal. You got to remember she has so many heals with her talents and everything, dude. It's ridiculous. Like that's why, that's it ends up being better in Elf Blessing and everything as well because it goes it heals off POW, it heals off Healing Field, it heals off Soul Absorb, it heals off all kinds of shit.
But I
Especially with
mean,
her
there
over
again,
divided,
that's
so there's so much different heals on her too, so that helps out against the DSs as well.
but I mean, there again, that's the good thing about the hybrid build is because
Mm-hmm.
isn't her heal based off of how much damage she does
Yep.
too?
Exactly.
And then if you're getting it,
So,
you're really being able to keep your blue
that's
hunks alive in the back with that way. Okay.
Yeah. As long as you're blue, and the thing is, yeah, no, my wallet. Where was that? I'm sorry. Be careful. Okay, I'm gonna take it go.
Which is the only reason hybrid actually fits. And that's another reason that makes Talia good because I mean, if you're swapping up from a sister wolf, to Satalia is almost a seamless move. Whereas if you're switching from elf to Satalia, there's a lot of moving parts that's got to be moved around.
So the thing about it is, like Natalia, she's a fun commander to run, but she's not a cure all. You know what I'm saying? Like no class really has a cure all besides airship with the fucking black. And I hate to say it that way. I mean, but she still has her fucking weaknesses as well. She still has the same weaknesses as all tank walkers do.
Yeah.
Besides the Orochi, but besides the Orochi, that special Orochi build, but she kills a little bit more, and she does it. She gets more points out of doing it. she's killing more out of doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more times where
She's
you'll
a
see
points
Elf time
positive
out.
commander.
Exactly. There's a lot more
Okay.
times you'll see Elf doing it, where she's timing out battles versus you'll see Natalia melt through those marches because she's stealing your damage and giving it right back to you. Plus, she's doing her own damage. Plus, she's healing off the damage she's doing. Plus, she's healing off healing field. Plus, she's healing off her power. It's a whole different combination of how she's ran. And that's pretty much how walkers right now are ran anyway, right? You have to have talent for walkers. I'm telling you right now, if you are trying to run a walker commander, you need to make sure that you have the talents and you have them set up correctly. Because if you're not doing it right, if you don't have those, you're not doing it right. You're not going to be successful, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would say any Walker
So,
you
so
have
save
to
your
have those
coins.
talents.
Save your coins. if you're a poor Walker command, save your coins for your Aether events and get your worm crystals out of there.
Well, that or you got Black Friday event coming up, so be wary of that because
I said poor Walker main. I said poor Walker main. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate that.
But yeah, take advantage of any events where you get it because that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm saving up to get interference field right now. Just opened up the third.
But I mean, even Black isn't. Even Black has its weaknesses. Everything in this game has its weakness, strengths, and weaknesses. So just be wary of that. Some have more weaknesses than strengths, but for the most part, everything has its strengths and weaknesses.
Everybody silent or what?
We never
Oh, I
drank.
thought it was me for a minute.
Oh, well, since everybody's
No,
silent,
fucking-
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I kicked
No.
Grinch's butt in Ace of Galaxy.
No, my bad, guys. My bad. My fucking phone was connected to the car when it was driving off. My bad.
That's funny. Now I'm at work, so I'm jumping in and off of mute. So
I got you.
I was wondering if it was my connection for some reason. I was like, what the heck is going on?
I spoke and I didn't hear anybody, so I was like, okay, well maybe my connection sucks right now. I don't know.
I think it was just we just didn't want to respond to you. I'm just kidding. I
if
don't.
there's a gear piece that you think we should be looking for as a Walker main, what would it be?
Oh shit! I mean, yeah.
Top three.
Honestly, I mean,
top three that you would pick. Yeah.
Nanto,
Nanto.
Broken Fortress,
Okay.
and well, I mean, it depends. It depends on which route you're going because there's you got your damage walker builds with your sister wolves and everything, or you got your fucking tank shit. So I mean,
But regardless, you're still
personally,
thinking Broken and Nanto.
yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean, Broken and Nanto are really good pieces to have, especially if you're running like a tank set on your Walker, or if you're running a damage set. I mean, Nanto's got the extra accuracy. See, the thing is with Walkers, you can't go full on blown attack and be successful. You're not going to get enough dodge out of it, unfortunately. Yeah, you're going to still kill some things, but you're not going to get enough dodge out of a Sister Wolf, unfortunately, to be able to dodge a lot of shit. Unfortunately, it's just an unfortunate fact. So you have to rely on your talents as well as that and everything like that. But I think like when you're into the higher end meta on the Walker side, I mean, yeah, you have that split branch to where you can get a good solid Sister Wolf, but that's where that's where you stuck. It's you either evolve into a damaged Sister Wolf, and that's what you are. Or you're going into the tank style of the play with the Walkers, Walker meta, and that's the unfortunate thing with the Walkers. They don't have enough good attack Walker comms, if you will. There's not enough good ones. Besides for ones for a couple of situations, but like mainly it's the tank style. So that's why I'm saying you definitely want your Nantos because you can build a tank wolf with it. With the accuracy, you definitely want a Broken Fortress. Broken Fortress is a good piece to have. third is really a toss up, though. To be honest with you, because I think I'll go back to traditionalism on this one. I personally like the fucking. Yeah, I mean, you definitely need allocated. I mean, it's that simple, and it just goes up to your. But I think those are my top three on what I would say. I wouldn't say like high end is pertinent to everything, but you do have to have a lot of high end gear to run a nice solid walker com, especially at the high meta. So I mean,
We haven't seen the butterfly blades yet, have we? Because that
I've
seems like
seen them. I've seen
seems
them.
like a
I've seen them
gorgeous
used.
piece to have.
I've seen them used. I personally didn't like its effect. I mean, it's a nice piece to have for what? Because it's a weapon, right? So
Yep.
to get penetration, but you get penetration, but you also get HP and you get dodge. So you don't get no damage out of your weapon. So I mean, that limits already that right there. The weapon alone limits you for what you can use it for, right? You get HP and dodge, so that's a good thing to have for some infantry comms if you're running into the tier space thing. But then you got penetration. So if you got penetration on your weapon, like that should maybe be accuracy instead of penetration, or that because it's about how you run it, right? Because like you're not going to run a high dodge, high HP with
See,
full on.
personally, I would probably say Hippocrates as the third. I mean, it's not,
Um,
you don't need it, but it would give you certain stats that you would want to build on.
Yeah, I mean it's a good piece to have too. I'm not saying that, but I'm not saying that at all. It's a great piece to have, and definitely as far as chess, that's what I'm saying. There's so many options to really give you top three. I know, I mean, Nanto's and Broken Fortress definitely out of those two categories are the top ones you want to look at. As far as chess piece, I like the ambition, and that's just because of the additional crit with her.
Yeah.
And the fact that you with walkers you can still build out enough to where you can't get Swede as well. You know what I'm saying? So like, um,
Well, I also like the Hippocrates because, I mean, isn't one
just
of
by
the
HP
things
and
with your
speed.
Satalia is that your trigger rates are a little bit on the low end?
They're not actually. They're not bad trigger rates at all. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then I'll pull it back up. 1 second.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of, because most of those comms, you
If we're
know,
talking from like a ramp style sister wolf, and we're talking that dodge is an issue, isn't a
Okay,
potential fix the butterfly blades Elcade
possibly. So,
with the
Liam,
skills?
It's a
possibly.
possible fix. The problem with the butterfly blade is there's no damage. It's technically a
Exactly.
tank,
Yep. It's a tank piece with penetration.
which
Yeah.
doesn't really beat a sister wolf.
There's a place for it. We just
so
I don't know. I don't like the place. I don't like the place for it right now. There's a place for it. I feel, but there's not. It's hard to say where. You know what I'm saying?
so what? You
That's
got
But
nothing.
like
60% all the way across? Is that what you?
Yes.
for
Yeah. So she's got a
40,
pretty decent
60,
60%
yeah,
all the way.
60
60,
Natalia 60. Yeah,
yeah. 60. So it's not a bad. It's not a bad. What you call it? You know what I'm saying?
trigger rate. No,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, trigger rates would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. That would be a great help, but not a bad
Yeah.
trigger rate already as it
Because
is.
that's the only thing I was looking at is when you go up against me with your Satalia, when you don't trigger, that's where it becomes an issue. And that's what I
Well,
was
that's
looking
what's
at. That's
supposed to
why I said
happen.
trigger
Yeah,
rate.
but that's what's supposed to happen regardless. So, like, you're one of
No,
her
no, no.
hard bucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
I'm
that's
a
what that's
tank buster,
you're
but
right.
I mean, I'm just
Exactly.
saying your stuff when you don't trigger, you
Hmm.
lose very bad. Now, when you trigger, it's a
Oh yeah.
different story, and that's why I was getting on with the trigger rates. Is that that's why I feel like the Hippocrates to raise your trigger rates. That way, you're not in that situation.
I do
But
like it. I do like it. I'm not saying it's not the piece that I would go for. That's not what I'm saying at all.
yeah,
Because it is a piece I would like to have and would go for because it has good amount of HP, right? and it has a good amount of trigger rate. Defense,
Yeah.
defense doesn't serve me any purpose. But
Defense
the
gives
HP,
Nah,
zero
defense
purpose,
don't
bro.
serve you.
Yeah.
yeah. But it does give me the trigger rate, and it does give me HP, which is solid. Now, ambition, it gives me crit wither. It gives me a little bit of tear suppression for the T1 T2 round hearts. It gives me some
Yeah.
RWE. So I mean, there's not really great useful stats out of that as well. You would think that a McGrath would be the right one, right? Because it's got resistance, it's got HP,
Yeah,
it's got
you'd think.
RWE. You would think, but it's not.
Kind of. It's what-
I've learned. It's not. I've learned that ambition was the better piece on it, honestly.
Like
So
the
this,
resistance, I feel like the resistance is good against, like for me, great for Craig. It is a great piece to swap for me for killing Craigs.
Yeah.
But against some of the other ones, yeah, I agree. I think ambition is much better.
So, and that's where I'm at with Tabulous because see, you get HP out of them regrets, right? You get a decent amount of HP, not fuck ton. I mean, you get a good amount
No.
though. You get 40% HP, which gives a better increase than none from the ambition, right? But like, so if this
Yeah,
isn't
you get
nowhere
the
near as
higher,
good,
you get
you
the
get a little bit
higher
more crit with it,
HP
right?
stat. Yeah, you get the
So what
higher
I'm
HP
thinking,
stat out of the other one, but then
you see what I'm saying? You
the
see what I'm saying?
Megara.
Like,
Yeah,
it's the HP doesn't really make her survive more. You know what I'm saying? Because she's still going to die
nah,
versus the same things. So then that's and over crit wither, which crit wither is more useful in certain aspects than the HP anyway. So okay, that takes away that stat. So now we're only looking solely on trigger rate, and that trigger rate boost, yeah, although substantial, at 50, is it worth the sacrifice and that little bit of tankiness you get from the ambition and this crit wither, right? Because you're building a hybrid build, and it's not really a tank build. Ambition is not a tank piece, but that crit wither on that helps, right? Unless you have Nanto, and then if you have Nanto, then yeah, I Tabulous all day. But the problem is with that, then you have no RWE, but who's going to try to be fleeing like that anyway? You can run it
Yeah,
that way, but
the airships aren't running sweet, man. Like you
exactly.
like
So
it ain't
you're
happening.
not, it's not really exactly. So it's not really like a piece that you. I mean, it's not a bad combination of pieces. It's just I feel like if you don't have, I think you have to have both those pieces. You know what I'm saying, Liam, to make it work mesh perfectly for
well,
you. That's all.
I mean, with what you were saying with the nanos, because you're like, all right, nanos would be first thing, Broken Fortress. That's
So
why I
yeah,
figured, okay, well, third would be Apocalypse to go with the nanos.
probably. Yeah, if you have that, then I mean, if you have those three pieces, then yeah, I mean, shit, you're gonna be running a nasty. That's fucking calm, regardless.
I was just saying, then what are you doing running S Italia at that point, right? Like
You got the Nanto Broken Fortress Hectopolis. I
Well,
mean,
I
you
mean,
fucking
let's
you
be
would run
real.
that
If
on
you if you're a Walker main, if you're a Walker main, there's
yeah.
not very many routes for you to go at that point with that. So you could run
No,
a
you
Satire, you could run Elf. I mean, but either way, there's not that many routes for you to go because you're a Walker main. So that's why you run something like that is because what you have three routes as a Walker main, if I'm not mistaken. You have Sister Wolf, Satalia, or Elf. To me, that's primary your three
Zoidus,
combos.
Zoidus is underrated. Don't sleep on
I
that
was about
one.
to say you sleeping on Zoidus, man. You can't sleep on Zoidus.
No, you
What
can't.
you can't sleep on Aqua
I've
Bitch.
seen,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah, well, yeah, Aquabitch is so awesome. Let me tell you,
Yeah,
I love,
best com in the game.
yes, I
Kakarot.
love seeing Walker mains
King
run it.
Kakarot till I die.
Can I
King
say thank
Kakarot.
you, Joker, for running Aquabitch?
Best com in the game, guys. Love it. Yes. Whew.
Make sure you
By
drop
the
your
way,
comp.
you're
All I'm
right.
saying.
There's really four different routes you can go right now. Three of them being tank. So, I mean,
And Zodless, I mean, I would say Zodless is there, except not too many people. There's a lot of people sleeping on Zodless. And I've seen one good Zodless just about the entire time that with the people that are running Zodless.
Yeah, he's got a stellar build.
I'd
He's
say
got a
just
So,
being in this
stellar.
room lemon make it sound weird. Just saying.
I wasn't gonna say it, but thank you, Ben.
Nautilus. What, I don't even know. Hiboculus? Like, what the fuck?
Hey, I could call it Hector.
That's
There
what
you
I
go.
say. Heck, fuck that. The heck the chest piece, guys.
We could call it all types of stuff. Tell me you can say that.
Let's just call Vadilla
Hectobulus?
or Zanos or everything. There you go. It's
Difficult.
genocide, damn it.
Hectobulus.
It is Hector, okay? Not changing my mind. It's been that since it started came out, guys. Anyway, but no, you're right though. So there's a very limited routes you can run with Walker. Unfortunately, you can only have Sister Wolf, or you have
Go ahead and
three tank comms to run right now. I mean, that's kind of shitty, but at the same time, it is what it is. There's just not enough damage dealing walkers when you make that kind of plays into what it's supposed to though. If you think about it, the way the game works and the way the walkers don't have the lowest base attack in the game, right? So like, hey, that's why you want to tank them more than you do anything else, because you want the battles to last. You want them to be able to survive.
It's the same for all three troop types not right now, though. Like,
Yeah.
infantry, it's Craig, Puppet, and it's basically Craig and Puppet. And then there's a few
maybe some
Yep.
comets, maybe some Stellas, maybe like some Gillies,
Dog.
but like really not many.
Those aren't generally the main comm if they use them. Like Gilly won't be their main; it'll be their secondary or
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Stella, just not as good as Craig for a main at this point.
Yep.
Well, depending on who's using it and how, but generally, there's basically two to four for each troop type. Airships, it's
Yep.
black, yes. Black,
Black
Reinhardt,
DS.
Orochi.
Black
Roger.
DS. No, Black and DS.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I mean,
Black and
truly,
DS,
I
and then
will
you
stick
kind of
by
fall
that.
off after that.
I will stick by that right now, guys. I'm sorry. The tank air is, God. Right now, they're just
tank air is also attack air. It's the same thing.
they're suffering, man. Like your Reinhardts and your Roaches are suffering, especially in the Galactic campaign, guys. To be honest here.
That's fine.
Don't worry,
I
they'll
mean,
be
that's
back on
absolutely
top
fine.
in no time.
I was gonna say you give it just you give a Cassitan away and you'll still see him all over again, and that's what people are gonna forget, that hey, everybody's figured out the counters to get through these now.
Right?
The problem is how big do you have to go, and you're still potentially losing troops from a walker to a tank that can kill those tanks at T2, right? Like that's what becomes the issue.
Oh yeah, of course. Now that Darren Cass love you. That's the way to go. I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah, Jordan Cass opens up a lot more capabilities, even in all of them. Actually, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because I mean, in all of them, you open up that third or fourth comm that would fit in, that is actually pretty dominant in Cass. But then when
Versus
you
in
go to
GC is not.
GC,
Exactly.
you drop off to only like 2 or 3 that's effective.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it comes to learning the game and learning your rules. Like Cass opens, like he said, opens up the fucking possibilities for a multitude of different comms and a multitude of different builds. You see, and that's why a lot of arcs and a lot of people building out their sets and everything, they build out a Cass comm, they build out a GT comm. Especially if you're a specialized art, that's what you want to do. If you specialize in your specific class, or you specialize hard and everything like that, like all right, I want to invest in my comm being the best comm it can possibly be. Well, you want to invest in a Cass comm, and you want to invest in a GC comm. Like for example, you don't see a lot of elves in Cass, but you see a lot of special. You don't see a lot. You're not going to see a lot of Italians.
See a lot of Reinhardts, a lot of for some reason Gillies, because they think it's a good comm. I mean, I bring Rock back every cast.
Wow.
Because it doesn't matter. Like at that point, a Rock is gonna kill more T12 with Yetis than anything else I have in my arsenal, right?
It's because you suck.
Yeah.
It's because I suck. But I still do really well.
And what you got to realize is, okay, Cass, you got 30 days in a GC battle. you only got a couple hours. So I mean, that's another thing that makes the difference is 30 days
gotta-
to gather as many points as I want to gather
Yeah.
and
How are you
a
gonna
couple
grind it
hours
out?
and it's over with for me in Cass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you
It's the
have
sprint versus the marathon.
exactly, and you also that's why you have certain comms out there to do that because it's all about the points game in this game, right? Like I'm going to take as many points as I can get while losing as little points as I can lose. So that's why you have your specialized cons. Like for example, in cast, you like you said, you see a lot of Reinhardt T2, T1, T2 because you're running T1, T2. That's not going to cost you a lot of money, right? It's not going to cost you a lot of fucking resources to heal those up. You're going to get a lot of meta in return for using that.
Plus
But
your Harrods.
and well,
Hey, buddy.
but but in GC, yeah, T1, T2, Reinhardt's going to get you points,
Nothing.
but it's not going to win battles. And that's the thing is like
Nope.
when GC, it's all about the battles that you're winning. Your GC is more focused on winning battles and killing as much as you can in the process of let's hold this objective type shit. While there's similarities in the play, but there's a lot different in how you play it, right? So that's why it's good
But
to
I
develop
mean,
the best
you're kind of
combinations of time.
comparing a sprint to a marathon at that point.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want to
Absolutely.
waste your speed ups for a couple of hours, or do you want to fucking waste billions upon billions of resources because you're being a dumbass and sending full T12 markers out there and cast and everything like that, and losing them and having to really heal them, right? So
Or sometimes you have lots of resources and everything else, you don't care and you just throw it down.
and then that's when you.
Well, I
That's
mean,
right.
and
I love it.
it also depends. It also depends on your enemy in cast. Being honest with you, because I mean,
Oh yeah.
your enemy can make it a sprint real quick, but when they start
Yeah.
stacking it up, and then it's like, okay, well,
Then you
now
gotta
we're
play
gonna
a
have
GC.
to go
Then you gotta
big
play a
or go
GC
home.
game. Yeah, you gotta play a GC game in a
Yeah.
cast man situation for a gate that you weren't expecting.
But that's also where you have a lot of fun too, right? So like that's when you can really hone in on stealing a lot of points away from your opponent too, right? The
Yeah,
only
especially
problem
had
is
to
in
keep it up.
cast. I hate cast for this, but the Weenie Brigade sucks. I honestly have to admit it. I mean, let's be real. It's not something that should have ever been introduced to the game, but whatever.
Correct,
It just
but
sucks.
you play within the confines you're given, and that's why you have
Yeah,
alliance. That's why you have alliance planets versus
yeah.
server alliances at this point. That's why you have whole planets joining together on casses to just screw as many other people out of the points and everything else as possible. Right? Like if you
Casting,
can
yeah.
develop a planet versus just a guild, like that's why it's expanded to what it's expanded. That's why you see 5 planets that are really that's it. Like the game is really about 5 different planet systems consistently wrecking everybody's lives.
And there is a way to beat that for sure. It's just, I mean, you're right. I
Yeah,
hate to say it that way. I
you
mean,
just team up with one of your friends you want for that Cassitan and just run roughshod. Hopefully we get everybody back in one planet again and have a lot of fun.
that would be great. I'm not gonna lie.
I
That'd be
did love the Battle of the D's 2 casts
yeah,
ago.
yeah. But at the same time, though, let's hope that's not this coming cast, but the next cast. This coming cast, I really, yeah. The
I need
cast
to
can get
get my
expensive.
yeah. I was like, I need to get 10 exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, let's wait until the next cast before we do another fucking big showdown between the major guilds, please. Not this coming cast.
Yeah, exactly.
let me be ready. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm gonna have fun regardless, but Jesus, I don't want to. Not this coming one. It's too busy of a season.
Yeah, Christmas season's not a good season ever for
not
a
for
lot of people.
not for that. Not for that. No. Especially if you're working retail. But anyway, back to the game.
I feel you, bud. I feel you.
But yeah, there's only like a couple of different routes you can really choose in each class, like you said, Bane, and everything like that. But I mean, that goes back to our conversation. I hope people did submit actually in Grinch. I did. I am going to be submitting mine to you later on today of like your ideas of what kind of calm could be introduced to the game that could be fun to run, but whatever.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we talked about last week.
yeah.
Oh,
They need to make infantry a tank com that doesn't beat infantry.
You mean that actually can touch an airship? That'd be great.
Well, that doesn't counter just about every other infantry commander.
Yeah.
See, so come up with it
Because
and
like
send it to
Craig
me.
kind of pisses me off.
Yeah. Greg's a really good commander.
I like
I
Craig.
really enjoy being able to kill Craig. Like
I
that.
was gonna say
That
I like Craig. Craig's are
when
awesome.
I was gonna say when I found out that was my kill, I was like, okay, this makes me. And then like a mind map Zoid is a Craig killer. It's really good
Oh yeah.
with not even full slots. So it's nice.
That's a fun thing about Satalia too. You don't have to have full slots. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess you could throw the Hatta as being the third, but then you have to then you're thinking about all premium gear. I feel like you can get a little bit better usage out of an ambition or an alcade than the Hecta at this point in time, in this moment in time, unless you have the Nantes. You know what I'm saying? At least from my particular outlook on it. What about you, Lynn? What would you say top three for infantry is?
I mean, it all depends on your build. I mean, there's.
Y'all made
I
me name
mean,
three. You
as
better name
far
three. You made me name
yeah.
three. You better name three.
Elcade.
Well, I mean, depending on your build, would be Void. You could go with your nanos, and then you've got headpieces. I mean, I don't. I'd give away too much with the headpiece, so I'm not gonna say. I'll stick with those two because I ain't gonna throw things out there. We'll go with Formal Halt just on the back end.
Okay, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
But I mean, there again, if you're going with the Craig, I mean, you go with the Regulus, Megarez or Hectus, depending on whatever you want, and then you go with whatever Tanling or whatever on the headpiece. So I mean, it would differ between the two
Exactly.
builds being tank and attack, or
Exactly,
tank
and
and
that's the
tank
same.
destroyer are going to be two different things off the bat.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You can't really say a top three for any class really at this point because there's just too many combinations of builds you actually need to be successful in what you're doing, right? So like, I
I mean,
mean,
just be wary when you're doing your build. Certain combinations give you strengths and weaknesses against certain things too. So
now if you open up
utility builds
yeah,
come in
exactly,
very handy.
exactly. I agree.
Well, I
I
feel
agree
like that's also
100%.
why it's really good to have multiple commanders just slightly tweaked differently to throw off the enemy, right? Like
I mean,
I don't necessarily
I
want the
don't
same
necessarily.
Italia as Neva, right? Because my Italia might kill something a little bit better and a little bit different than his. So if they try to
Exactly.
counter him, I can
Well,
still rack it.
the necessary thing is not so much having different comms as far as it is having different gear sets. So I mean, different types of gear sets would change up that comm completely, right? So
Mm-hmm.
depending on what matches you go in, you could change your gear set and change your weakness and strengths. That way, you're coming in a little bit different every time.
I agree.
So I mean, and the big thing is with these gear talks and all that. I mean, go after. I mean, I don't have to tell Bane this. Bane builds gear that he doesn't need. But I mean, go after as many different gear sets or as many different gear pieces as you can, because you can come up with some utility build out of it that's going to change the makeup of your comp.
No, I won't say 100%. I agree with going after every different many difference that you can because you want to stick to what you're doing too as well. Like I wouldn't go after a fucking secondary gun if I'm trying to run a Italia. You get what I'm saying? Or if I'm trying to run. So you want to get things. Yeah, you want to get as much as you can for that particular commander that you're running too. Though, so yeah, I do agree to an extent with that. But like, you don't want to go out there and spend. Okay, I'm gonna go buy a Broken Fortress, all the Sun Raven pieces, of mechanical arms, a Hectobelus, a Nanto, a
Oh, I mean,
Light
you don't go
Butterfly
chasing
Dance. You know
after
what I'm saying?
everything. You just go chasing after what you can afford to chase after.
No, yeah,
Who's
exactly. That and
hey? Who's peg roll? Peg roll shielded's down.
no idea who that is.
Me neither.
It
Where?
post in the forum. What guild?
EXE. Never heard of it.
Post it.
But it's nice to put that little swap in that's going to change
I agree.
your com minorly. But I mean, always make sure you're getting the stats that you want out of the gear you set up. Meaning, if you're
Exactly.
Well,
going
it's like
for a
the
crit with a build, don't freaking go after
an
RWE. I
LK.
mean,
Yeah, exactly.
You just want to make sure that if you are spending, you're spending on the stuff that's smart versus not. Because
Well,
if,
like
like, say, for
like
example, you're
today,
going to go, yeah,
like today, like if you need absolute defense, don't waste your like Aether coins or some of those ones that only give you 3. Like wait for an event like today where now you can pick up 3 skills for the same $100 that you would. Like you just gotta spend smart, not often.
yeah, exactly. You're not going to go buy a quantum module and be running full on walkers. You're not going to want to go. Well, I'm not saying that's a bad example, because
I mean,
well,
unless we're attacking you, then we definitely want you to run time walkers with quantum module.
please, please, please do. I would love to see it. Amazing gear piece for you to have as a max time lead, Walker commander.
Elf. Good, great for Elf. Not really.
Perfect. Level 100 AI.
Yeah.
Don't follow our advice in this chat.
Yeah.
This not today.
I never.
So we're not counting Ira as a walker commander. We're counting her as an infantry commander, like King. Is that what we're counting?
No,
Yes,
she,
she's
she
not.
is
Yeah.
a
She's
Okay.
not a
fucking
walker
I mean,
commander.
let's just call for what it is. Call for what it
she's a
is. I
fucking
haven't.
she's an infantry commander. Yes.
I haven't tested it with. I haven't tested her with time walkers or anything like that. So I was just curious if that's what we've just decided that she's a T11 commander as well.
Unfortunately, I don't see
Okay.
her. I mean, I don't see her being
So if you're a
useful as
walker
a T12
commander,
walker.
unlock T11 infantry, become an infantry commander.
Pretty much.
Every walker
Or
commander out
all of them.
there. All of them. If you're gonna pick a subclass, go infantry.
Hey.
Not there.
Or be like Ronan and be an infantry commander that says he's a walker commander.
Ronan's neither.
he's everything and nothing all at once, right?
That's it right there.
You're gonna love it when he hears it later.
I am depressed about the butterfly blades though. Like it has. I wish I had a place. Good piece.
I mean, maybe they're coming up with some sort of commander that it works off of. I don't know.
It's not like the more you dodge. No, never mind.
What piece?
Butterfly blades. The
Oh,
new one.
I would love
Yeah.
butterfly blades. I know
I
exactly
feel
what I'd
like
do
it's
with it.
good. I know. I feel like for infantry, that's a great piece. I don't see much utility from a walk. I mean, I see what utility from a walker standpoint. I kind of got an idea with it, but infantry, I knew exactly who I'd put it on.
I do too, but the problem is that I do too. I agree with you. The problem is the other couple pieces you need to run. And it's gonna be
It does take
only
away from
two.
some other stuff for sure.
Exactly.
Like
Plasma.
Plasma needs attack.
Plasma. I was gonna say you need attack though, so
It's a
There's
it'd
so
be a
much
good
more
piece
you could
for
do. There's so much more you could do with plasma instead of that piece. Let's put it that way.
I
if I
know.
had
Rita's
a
gonna make her
butterfly.
return. There we go.
I think I know
If I had a
exactly where I'd
butterfly,
put it.
I'd use it on Gilly. I'd make a tier space Gilly. I dodge tier
That's
space
nice.
Gilly for anti Sunraven.
That'd be nice. Yeah. What
Uh,
about on a hybrid war machine?
War Machine just sucks.
You still miss
There's no
accuracy.
good reason to use War
Yeah.
Machine.
I mean, if you
War
have War
Machine,
Machine, if you only have War Machine, then yes, you should use War Machine over any other goofy commanders. If you don't have a Craig or a Puppet or a Comet, then you should use a War Machine. Like that's your fourth. That's your like second
sure.
tier, right?
Uh huh. Oh
Like
god.
Yeah.
There
Gilly
are
has a
ways war
guaranteed
machine
hit,
can
so
be
she's
good.
better versus Black. War Machine, the only thing he beats are like the tanks,
Gillies.
assuming that they don't have enough
Other
dodge.
infantry. Other infantry.
No, War Machine gets wrecked by infantry.
Doesn't do
Unfortunately.
great against the Walker tanks either. He gets
Oh
fucking wrecked.
no.
Yeah,
That's because Walker
like
tanks block his useful skill.
it's true.
War
There's
But
not
Machine
even
Walker,
war
destroys
machine back,
let's
guys.
airship
be
tank.
real. Like
That's
Walker
about
skills,
all he does.
Walker skills got good skills. Like all the
I just
skills
want
are
to bring
really like
war machine back, guys.
interesting.
That's all. Leave me alone.
I bet you do.
War
Well, like
Machine
what
beats
about what about
Orochi
for
and
like a
Reinhardt
Hubarian?
and Rogers.
What about a Hubarian? Like we've seen that a defensive Hubarian wrecks the shit out of blacks. Like
Well,
we've seen it a
Hubarian's
couple
skill
seasons
is
now.
based off the damage the enemy does to you. So
Hmm.
dodge is good. The crit wither, etc., is not, and you have to have your own base attack. Versus black, depending on the black, the thing about it is they're super squishy, so you don't actually have to have that much attack to destroy black. You just need dodge, really. You just need dodge and triggers. That's it. Hubarian, War Machine, Stella, Gilly, any of them with dodge and tier space can beat a 3-piece black. It's not that difficult.
Right.
The thing is whether or not you're going to be effective anywhere else. And Hubarian's skill wants damage. He doesn't want to be all tanky. So a truth even would make more sense than a butterfly on Hubarian specifically. But really, you want dodge in the pants, dodge in the chest, and then attack in the weapons and the helm. Otherwise, you're just wasting half of his potential. You might use one butterfly and one alcade on him, maybe.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
But you could probably use a truth at that point because you're at least getting accuracy, right? Like,
right, but you don't need accuracy on Hubarian. The thing is,
that's true. He's
any
just gonna
way that
punch
you
back.
put dodge in the weapons takes away from the only spot you have left for damage, which is just dumb.
Yeah.
And
Like
that's
I would
why I
use
say I wish I
Roger's
had a better
weapon
fleet.
first. Roger's weapon would be great on Hubarian.
Yeah.
I would run him with a Fire Spirit's Void, Roger's weapon, and a Ruthless.
That's a lot of attack damage.
Yeah, a lot of attack damage, dodge, and trigger rate. That'd be awesome. I would main Hubarian if I had that. That would be awesome.
The double mighty shield.
Yeah.
Fuck you, bitch! I'm gonna blow you up, like for real.
But isn't that the same? What's the LK? What's the LK percentage? 40?
Oh no, it's
40.
yeah.
It's
Alkade's 40. This
it's
is
Oh yeah.
one and a
Not
half.
even a fucking yeah. Absolutely.
like that's so much attack damage right there in that one weapon. It's ridiculous. Dude.
That's a perfect Titan.
Yeah.
With full pen.
Yeah.
It's a good piece to have
Such
if
a
you
good
got a
weapon.
damage bomb. So what, Grant?
That's such
You
a
see a
good
double.
weapon.
You see that in a broken fortress on a sister wolf? That would be nasty. Full penetration still with a perfect. Yeah, dude. There's some builds there.
No,
I didn't even.
no, it's
I
not.
overlooked Roger's build.
We there was no potential there. No potential there.
You tested it and didn't see? I must have missed that week.
No potential. No potential.
All right.
Actually, I wouldn't mind that on a Gilly. That'd be pretty good on a Gilly
Yeah.
to formula.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some nasty things I didn't even think about with Mighty Shield.
Stop.
Problem with it is
Don't tell me.
nothing but damage. It's like what a
Let him.
Acela should have done.
Let it happen. Let it happen. We'll
No.
find counters. I'm not worried. We'll find counters. That's what we
We
do.
don't.
Oh, that's
Stop.
easy to counter. It
No,
has
Yeah,
no
exactly.
accuracy.
You shut it down. You just dodge it itself. It's done. Like, you just run a little dodgier build to something else. You put your
I know
fire spirit
exactly
pants
where.
on for a second.
I know exactly
Be
where I'd
honest.
put that weapon. Let's be real.
Oh,
I know exactly
you
what
be
Tom exactly
quiet,
where to
Neva.
put it.
Yeah.
I know exactly who needs it and who should be using it, and I'm kind of amazed that I didn't see that happen in playoffs at all.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
It would have wrecked. It would have wrecked everything. I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet.
We
Like
will
I
this
know
season. I
precisely
think
where it belongs.
I think they have it. It just wasn't at 50.
I think they need to keep it away.
Yeah, like I don't want to see it because it's basically another fuck you to infantry again.
Yeah. That's what it always is. And if infantry
Anyway,
is getting it, you know walkers are getting it. So
Oh yeah, no, it's basically it's an airship piece for sure. It's kind
yeah.
of stupid.
yeah, broken. Anyway,
Surprise.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
good. Yes, that's where
I
we're
don't
leaving
know
it.
either. I was playing with my dog.
You were playing with your what?
Just something about a broken OP.
Bane and I are
piece.
getting on a tangent. So
Said nothing. We did nothing. We did not even get up this morning. Y'all shut up.
My
yeah.
dog, bitch. It's my pit bull. I was playing with him.
Delete the entire piece of that segment.
What? Y'all didn't say
Well, now I know
anything.
them.
Good.
We did, but we didn't.
I'm sitting here trying to
we were
figure
saying
out.
things without saying things.
Yeah, y'all were saying shit. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking about? I'm like racking my brain over here.
It's not our fault you don't get it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just like
And I
Uh,
sure fuck am not gonna start that trend. Not happening.
yeah, right. Ask us. Yeah, ask us after we stop talking on the the YouTube video.
No. Ask us after the build finally comes out because everyone else was
Yeah.
too stupid to put it out till the next 3 seasons later, and then
Yeah.
we'll say we knew it was
Well,
gonna happen.
that's what always bothers me about like with Italia, right? Like props for props is given, and Anakin was on that shit 7 seasons ago when she first came out. He literally used it to just steamroll every elf, every Orochi. He and that I remember watching it on the roof at work. Like I shouldn't have been, but like he went through 8 Orochis in a row and nobody knew what to do with them.
Right. And see,
Dude,
that's the
I
thing. I
told you
think we
what to
slept
do to
on her
him.
for so
Italia
long.
was way easier to beat back before status quo was an option.
Correct.
Well,
Like it was so easy to beat. I could beat it. I
I
can't
agree.
beat Satalia now because status quo basically fucks me up. But before that, Satalia was vulnerable to literally every single one slot bust. She's not anymore.
No, she's not.
Skills have changed the game. Though
And
the
it's
different type
exactly that.
weapons have changed the
She came
game. Like
exactly.
it,
She came out.
it's
She came
allowed
out too soon for
customization
her
so
meta.
far that you've lost the ability to just set in a shitload of Rogers or a shitload of Orochis or a shitload of Reinhardts and just be like, what the fuck you do here, right? Like
Please put in a shitload of roaches. Please.
now now you ask, hey airships, go ahead and put all your tanks in there. We can get through that. It's just
Please. Yeah. Look, and
these
that's how the game's changed. Yeah. And
King
see, that's
Black
how the
builds
game.
are where it's at. If you're an
Yeah.
airship, you better be running one. At least one if
And
you're an airship.
And see, that's the thing is that's how much the game has changed and everything. It's like Satalia, that brings it back to the Satalia thing. Satalia came out, came out, and she was able to wreck a couple things, but she had too many hard counters back then, right? And as the game developed, as you got talent, as you got different gear, that's when she started becoming useful. So don't be afraid to revisit some of these older things, but pay attention to what you're doing. Like, don't sit there and look at, okay, I'm going to try to run a kid. Let's be honest.
He's a
I wish Kid
monster.
was better.
Yeah, we know.
I wish Kid was better. I wish he was. But there are things such as trigger rates that come involved that are very crucial. There are things such as There's no reason for it. Ignore defensive
DR.
stat.
Yeah.
Defenses, yeah, exactly. There's more useful stats than ignore DR. There's no use for ignoring defense anymore because of full penetration. So you just got to pay attention to what comms have what skills and everything. You got to learn the game. But Natalia just had too many hard counters back then that she doesn't anymore because, like Vane said, the ability to run status quo is a fourth skill. Now I'm not saying she's necessary. It's not. I'm not saying that at all. But it's a good addition to be able to survive a little bit longer with certain different things. So, plus, like I said, the gears has changed over the season and everything. So, yes, Natalia was a slept-on comp for a very long time because there just wasn't enough. There wasn't the right combination of
You're
stuff for
just
her to be
missing
ran
one or
back
two
then.
pieces, and then those pieces are sitting here. So yeah,
Exactly.
and like if you watch how they do,
Bane, are you having
I say
fun?
this every year. If you watch how they do the gear releases, like you're seeing the Elder
See
Baron
what
and the
he's-
Antares coming out right now, right? That's going to be those gear pieces will be relevant for a build that the devs have in mind for whatever they're going to release 2 months down the line.
Exactly. That's how.
So like
100%
think
right.
of
You got to
if
learn
you're
when they're dropping the stuff,
if
right?
you're looking now, like if you can't get it now, like those are pieces you should be thinking about getting or at least stockpiling to try to get to, because those gear pieces specifically are going to be important to whatever they have coming down the line for us.
Right.
And it might be a month or 2 months off. It might be Christmas
example-
time when they send it off.
So, for example, Butterfly Dance may be a good kick piece to pick up now for a comm in the future. Or same
Yep.
thing with Mighty Shield. Or same thing with whatever. You know what I'm saying? Infantry necklace, which I feel like that necklace should have, that headpiece should have had more use somewhere, but it doesn't. But anyway.
Well, you see, you got to keep in mind that they still released a lot of pieces that were trash, like Barbarian's Blood, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
AI1 or one. What's that even called? I don't even remember what it's called anymore.
Any of the specialty pieces
You
really
talking about that old
early
school
on were only
headpiece back in
okay.
the day?
AI
Fucking
Zero.
AI0? Yeah.
Hey,
The
that is
Natural
a
Whisper was
gem. If you
trash.
have one of those, you're OG.
Holy Grail was trash. Meteor was trash. Like
There's been some shitty
the
pieces, yeah.
the Vidilius,
So
Star Crusher, Cassius Helms, and Saber Helms all trash. Entropy Necklace is probably trash. No, it is trash.
good with it.
Like half of the equipment they come out with between is trash.
So you got to pay attention to what you're buying.
Right. Like,
Well, don't get trapped. Don't get
all
trapped in a
the
specialty
weapons
like a
from
specialty
the
commander's
Marag
weapon, right?
Marak Effect to Elioth, all trash, except for Marak now for tank builds, which didn't exist before Broken Fortress and Craig's weapon were a thing.
Yeah, Mary's Queen Scepter.
Sickle's
right
trash.
there.
Baton
Bringing
is
out
trash.
Mary.
Swallow was trash.
Swallow's. I mean, the problem with
Reincarnation's
Swallow is that
trash.
it's required in everything, and they made it such an expensive gear piece for it being such a piece of shit.
Right. Queen Scepter because people are stupid.
I loved that. I was so happy they gave us Queen as a reward com. Thank you, DZG.
Mary.
Yeah.
We wanted Thong Mary. We got a Queen Mary
The comic
instead.
weapon, trash. Acela, not technically trash, but not really useful for
It
any
can
specific.
it can be really useful if you know what you're doing.
It can be useful, but it doesn't add much to the majority of the high end builds because the crit damage is just so useful.
I will say that if you throw that on ADS, you can wreck some shit with it. I will say that.
But it's
But
not
that's
because
about
of
all.
just because it's attack. You could throw an outcade on there, do the same thing. The crit damage is only applying to 1 out of 5 enemies in any capacity.
And it's
And-
not applying to the crit chance, right? So crit damage is useless versus crit chance. You want the crit chance higher.
Without the crit damage.
Yep.
I'm just saying
If
that it is a useful
So if you
piece.
got no crit and I crit with her, that crit damage skill doesn't mean shit.
I'm just saying that it can be a useful piece in certain situations. That's all I'm saying.
It can be, but like if I had to pick between that and either Sunraven weapon or even
I would
a Broken Fortress or Dim Light, like literally any piece with 40% attack is better than the Acela.
So Bane, what do you talk to me about Dim Light? What do you like about Dim Light?
Well, I love Dim Light. Dim Light's awesome.
Dim Light.
But
Since you could get a dim light technically for free using some of the games that they have out there, would you recommend players to focus on something like that?
Cool. Like it works if you're running Commander with the debuff is the thing. And there's so many out there right now that don't. For example, Black, DS, Gilly, like the majority of them don't. The only reason I like the dim light specifically is because I run a disabled Stella, and so she's got like every disable there is. She's got Dizzy, she's got Canes, she's got Dual Blades, Andromeda. So there's 4. There's almost never any time where every single enemy slot isn't under a red arrow versus me. But most infantry aren't relying on debuffs. They're relying on stat ignore and whatnot.
From a utility this is just throwing it out there. What that would be good on like a pre. Does it work with preemptive? Is my
It
question, I
does,
guess.
but only for the first round. The thing about it is
Okay.
that it doesn't really do. It's 10% damage. That 10%'s not huge. It's 10%
No.
damage. If you hit a guy for 900 damage, you're just doing 90 more damage. The only way that it works super efficiently is for like Stella specifically. It ramps like Quick Draw does because she gets multiple hits in. So if you hit the first time for 1,000 damage, you're hitting for an extra 100 damage that will scale as you continually
As
go.
just every single time.
Once they get down to like half a slot, you start raking. You start like destroying them, whether you hit them hard afterwards or not. It's pretty massive after a certain point, like Quick Draw. So it'd be a good piece for War Machine if you could land your hits, which you can't. It wouldn't be technical on Craig because Blighting Strike I think would count as a debuff.
Yeah, that was my next
I would
question
like
from an infantry
I would
standpoint.
do a Comet Czar, not Comet Czar. What's his name? I want to see Star Crusher running the trigger weapon, a dim light, trigger chest, and what maybe a ruthless. You actually probably could run the Sunraven helm and then a Fire Spirit pants. That would be fun. You probably suck, but it'd be fun.
It'd make people go, "What the hell is he doing?" And then get
Right?
wrecked
No,
for a
but like
turn, and then be like,
you
"Nope, let me go
get
ahead and fuck."
three trigger rate pieces. That'd be what is that? 3% base? What do these have? 3% base. Yeah, 3%. That's a 9% base at 50. So that's 6. That's 54% of 40. So your skill goes up to 60% there.
Yeah,
That's a 60+% skill at that point. Plus wings, which would be 100%.
yeah.
So you've got assuming you can trigger wings, which you might not, which is the downside to the concept. And that you're ramping damage with his napalm. What is it?
Star
I don't
bombs or
remember.
whatever they're called. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's a debuff. I mean, technically, it's down red arrows, same diff. So
Yep.
you'd be ramping damage, and you're guaranteed, and you have a guaranteed hit built in. It would hit really hard. That'd
yeah.
be
I
fun.
think Star Crusher. I think Star Crusher is something that like you get the right thing, he'll be a great comp. Like how again, like what we said before with Statalia, like you get the right one piece of gear that come out with it.
Mm-hmm.
But his biggest problem is just that his skill trigger rate is too low, and his damage is too low. If you get your trigger rate up, there's ways to amplify the damage. It's just whether or not it qualifies as a good idea when you could run a puppet is the problem.
Right. Right.
Comet Czar would do the same thing better, probably, is the thing. But you don't get that ramp. The thing about it is the ramp. I think Star Crusher could utilize a lower leadership with wings and still do massive damage if you had the right trigger rate and dim light. That'd be fun with a lower lead. Whereas the bigger comms without the debuff can't really utilize that skill in that same way.
It'll be fun to run.
Has anybody used the Walker weapon?
It sucks.
Hold on, the
Effecta?
Cicada or what? Tractor, or however the fuck you say it? Yeah, it's horrible.
It sucks a lot.
It really doesn't look good. Never mind.
Well, it's got some NordR, but
I mean, at that point, you might as well get. I mean, at that point, you might as well get the Acelia because it's you at least get attack.
At what
I mean, it's got
point?
ignore. It's
Well,
got
the
ignore
fact that
DR. It's got ignore
it,
DR, which is okay,
But you have
but
to dodge. You
you
have
have
to
to
dodge.
dodge exactly,
And
and that's the
walkers don't
problem.
dodge.
Walker, exactly. Walkers don't have. You can't. You can't enough dodge in your build. I mean, you can, but you can't. Because
hey,
you
you
can
could
put that much.
run it with the butterfly weapon. That might help. But the problem is
I
you
was-
don't have any attack.
I was thinking the
Hold
same
on.
thing. I was like, if you ran that butterfly,
Oh, okay. So we could run forward hot. That.
yeah,
Well,
there you go.
that's the problem though. Is you
Antares,
still
and
have no
Antares and
attack.
Trigger Pants.
And fire spans, exactly.
You have zero attack in that build though, aside from gems. That's the problem. If they had made that
then-
crit damage that would be viable.
Run it as a shutdown. You run it as a shutdown commander then.
But
Interference field.
Average
Yeah,
shutdown.
absolutely. Because it goes off of dodge and time walkers and HP troops in the back because you have HP. Or
you
if
could
you
run
had
some of the.
ignore, you would. Oh, that's a weird build, man.
You would have to have. The thing is, you would not have enough attack going into the
No,
but
so you might
yeah.
have to run. You'd have to gem attack.
Yeah, like at this point, why the fuck do that? Because you could run King and ignore 100% damage reduction and have
Yep.
higher base attack with the same skills.
We're
Like,
just
think-
saying, if you were the T12 Walker main and you wanted to run something
And you-
stupid,
and you
could run
didn't
that.
wanna- Spend all that money and time and energy opening T11 infantry
You
because
could
you were
run-
stupid and went
Oh,
down the Walker
you
tree
said,
line.
you said anything about tier 11. You could run it with tier 12. Like, actually, I am a little bit surprised more people don't run tier 12.
It's because
Kings.
Walkers have so much
And
fucking
can't.
accuracy.
Well, it really no.
They
It really
do, but there
depends
are
though. It
so
depends
many
if you.
high dodge out there right
It,
now. There's a
it
lot
really
of high
depends
dodge.
if you pushed your accuracy up to level 10 or if you didn't, right?
Well, not
So, like-
just that. Not just that. You also got to think Walkers have the lowest battle base attack, right? So you're getting too much accuracy involved into it and too little attack involved into it. So you can only gem for one of them, right? So
Yep.
like, that's the problem. Is like you could build all attack and you could build. I mean, you could main a T12 King technically. It's just
Well,
it's
no,
more
I
effective.
didn't-
for tier
I
level.
didn't upgrade my attack. So it actually works pretty well with attack troops, with small amounts of attack troops. And if you gem for all attack, it's fine. But again,
would
it's
rather-
not something I'm
full
gonna
attack
main in
troops,
full
yeah.
slot because I'm gonna die. Like it's not gonna happen. For my utility aspect, I'll use it as a utility commander.
You have to have
Absolutely.
so much dodge onto that though, because you want to be. You have to. God, that's a fucking crazy
Yeah.
amount of dodge.
Yeah,
putting that to make it work.
It's so I run it with the king, my T12 king, I run double roses, Formalt, Antares, and Trigger Pants. Like that's how I run that one.
Run formal on King.
And it's mm-hmm.
You know
Don't have
that
to,
he
you know.
ignores 100% damage reduction, so you
I
get
do.
nothing but
That's
10 of that.
all I have with it.
You suck.
I know. It's better than the Holy Grail.
Not really.
Is it, though?
Actually, no. In this
Is it?
build, no.
Is it though?
For that specific build, Holy Grail would be better. You get damage reduction and
Damn it.
HP, where the crit
I'll throw my high
does
level
nothing.
Holy Grail on it then. I'll throw my
Why
40
you have
Grail
a
on it
hi-
then. Yes,
You
I have a
have a
level
lot-
40 Holy Grail.
what the
Don't
fuck?
mind me.
What?
Like,
Sometimes you just
the
push
only
gear
way-
pieces up, okay?
The only way the formula's better there is if you don't miss, you get the crit and the damage reduction again.
So sometimes you don't miss. It's a T12.
But if you don't miss, you shouldn't be using King.
Well, you don't necessarily know when you're throwing it into a rally.
Well,
Which I use.
Damn it,
you should
boy.
know better.
Take my 50 troops and screw
Neva
you.
must be cringing so hard right now.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't.
man.
Like,
I
like
I
to
just
be
want
honest,
Never to be like, what is he gonna do this cast? And I don't even know.
Fuck. Like, oh my god.
Broken Fortress, Roger's weapon, and Antares, or Antares Fire Spirit, tier 12 King, or just like a full tank build, tier 12 King with
Well, that's what like you can
Roger's
run
weapon.
if you ran dim light. Like dim light king is really good, right? Like it is a really good build.
Right, except dim light really doesn't do anything other than have the base 40% attack because there's no debuff involved.
You can put preemptive on it.
Yeah, you could do that. It's 10% damage is not that impressive. You'd get more from the Rogers weapon if that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
What force skill
Now
would
you
you run
can.
on
Yeah.
it?
Preemptive.
You can run preemptive.
Just preemptive. Just preemptive. That's it.
Yeah, because you're wanting a debuff. For a lot of the
Preemptive King
skills
at
would want
4/5 tank. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Preemptive broken fortress.
Throw
Ooh.
some time walkers out there.
Yeah.
Awaken.
Yeah, awake and dodge. Yeah. There's a
Sure.
build. It's gross. It's a gross build that nobody would like want to do it. But if you had to, I suppose.
That'd be great
Sure.
for rally.
Yeah, people will be like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then be like, "Oh yeah, you won 4 in a row."
Oh
Low
wait,
troop
that's
cost.
just because I had a broken fortress. Cause
Yeah.
everything sucks.
I'd rather throw
Broken Fortress is
broken
really good.
fortress Yeti King in there or Yeti Rock than anything else.
Actually, I'd do Ira before I did King. To be honest,
Yeah.
you get that
Seriously, Ira's
slight
really
extra
good. Like,
and that three slot hit versus the unique stuff that they send in rallies would be.
Single. yeah, I think you're gonna see. Well, it really depends this cast of what style they wish. If they do the weather again, or if they do the gems again.
What do you mean gems?
The energy
Those blue
cubes or whatever the
crystals.
fuck. The crystals. Yeah, I hate
I-
the donation. I hope they change it up this season.
They don't.
I hope they change it up this past season.
I liked the weather. Just because you could. I don't know, I liked the weather.
Give us the weather and fifth skill. Give us a combination. Fuck
They're
it.
never giving us fifth skill.
No. They're never giving us fifth skills back because you can't throw power of airships and fire awakening onto one commander. He would be literally invincible with three piece. You wouldn't. Nothing would touch it.
They'll never give fire away.
Bring back the fifth
That's
skill.
one of those. Like
Yes.
one of
One
those where they're
black.
like,
The
"This
only
is
way
a
to beat
terrible idea."
No, just
Yep.
give me Fire
one black
Awakening.
would beat 50 commanders in a row until it hit another three piece, and then it would just be 50-50 trades.
So give us the fifth skill, but take away fire awakening.
Hold on. The only way you'd beat that is Ronin.
Ronan would fucking destroy him.
Yep.
No.
No.
Formula smash him. He'd lose one slot. You wouldn't. You'd only need one slot with one holder.
Jesus, that'd be so bad.
The rise of plasma.
You know how
Fuck
you
it. Give me.
could piss off all the
Just take away
spenders.
fire awakening.
Yeah. Yeah.
But dude, though, give me my Stella back where you don't take away my dual blades.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, like if I Satayo with fucking that fucking guaranteed hit on the fucking that plus status
Uh-huh. Well, the Satalia could have dual blades as well, so you could do a debuff into it. Oh my god, you could just.
Fuck you guys.
But that's how it would work with Zoidus as well, right? Like
Oh,
he needs a
God, it's
debuff.
so
Like
fucked up.
boom, done.
I'm not gonna lie though, that was like the greatest thing when they came out with fist skills before. Like Fire Awakening sucked, sure, but when I get dual blades twice and I could put sleep really with
And
Quinn,
sleep bomb. Yep.
it's so epic.
Uh,
It everything except black, and then black. All I have to do is counter one slot.
Yeah.
Dodge and die.
Bring back the fucking fifth skill, damn it. That was so fun. I miss them.
They can't though. There's too many new dynamics with them to do that.
I know, but it'd be so. It would be
They'll
Well,
never come back.
You're also asking them to
Walkers
do
It'd be
something
really
fun.
Walkers are good with his skills. You're right. We
Yeah,
just always need a
give
bonus
me-
skill to actually do something. You're right.
Give me a fifth skill. Go ahead. I dare you.
Yeah.
My map's
You
Italian.
know
with
why?
fucking status quo.
You know why they got
That's
rid
it
of it
right
is
there.
because all them damn Reinhardt mains whined so hard that we're just dying to everything now. Yeah. Good.
God, that was good times. No, I do wish they do. I hope they do change it up though, because they do have a trend of changing it up every 2 or 3 casts and everything. So I think we're due for a change up. I hope we are. That'd be nice.
I don't
Like, I
think they'll
don't-
do it.
I don't
I don't think they'll
give
do
a
it this one because it's Christmas time and they're kind of lazy. So I don't think it'll happen this one. But maybe it'll
Kinda
happen.
lazy.
Kinda
It would
lazy.
be
I want
nice.
them to change
Kinda
that.
lazy.
I just want them
I
to
would.
change
Oh,
With
someone got triggered there. Goddamn.
Fuck you mean kinda?
It should be if you don't own a cap, you should not be able to send to any objective.
That would be awesome.
And
Actually.
there should be a freaking loss counter. If you lose 80 times in a row, you can't send any more weenies.
That would also be awesome.
Like I
Limit
don't
the
understand.
good rates for cast, and then it'll be real fun. But
I
that's
don't
not the way it
understand why
works,
there's a
guys.
loss counter for defending and not attacking. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Or as I said, if you can differentiate which guild is sending.
Yeah, that too. Each guild should have its own individual loss counter.
There'll still be a way around it or something. Like for example, like if it, we limit it to if they limited it to the caps, right? Well, then you would just no, because I mean you wouldn't have time. So yeah, no, I mean yeah, I guess I mean that would be the way to do it. Just limit to who if you only can send if you own an objective. It's that simple. I think that'd be a good way to change up the way cast is played. It'd make it more fun.
Like other than like say zone 1. Like zone 1 can be a free for all, sure, because nobody gives a fuck about that in the beginning, and you have to be able to take an objective to start that rule. Like zone 1, maybe even zone 2. But once you get to zone 3, cap 3 and scent and gates in that zone should all you can't touch them if you don't own something. That should be the rule.
Or you put it to be like they did a level 3, right? Level 3 kept out a lot of winning guilds. I make it level 5. Just make it level 5. So many resources to have to do level 5. It eliminates a lot of things, or at least forces the drain
Oh,
of
you
everything else.
You
Fort
would still
level
have the
2?
guilds build them. You would still have a lot of guilds built out there as level 5 winning guilds
Like-
just to make sure they had the winning support.
Shit out of all of it. Like you have to have a level 5 fort. You have to own a cap, at least level 1 cap, and there's a loss counter of 80. That would put down so many alts sending. It's
Yeah.
absurd.
I agree. I agree.
Then it would be an actual fight between two guilds.
But we play in a cast where winnings are allowed, so
Oh, I have no problem with there being weenies. There should just be a limit to how many you can friggin' send.
yeah.
It should not be a fight to see who gets in first, and that's it. All you have to do is have 10 players who can resend fast enough to reset. And then weenie, 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 and you pretty much can't lose. As long as
True.
those 10 players are big enough to beat the enemy's top guys.
True.
That means 6 weenies.
Get the fucking weenies away. Just take them away completely. That's all we need to do. Let's go back to the nitty gritty.
Or you make it where you have, or you make it where you have to send a certain level of high tier troops.
Yeah, like limited to T12 only.
Yeah, but then how does the defense work? Then?
T10.
No, leave it
Got
at
rid of
T12 only. That way Reinhardt can't fucking kill a bunch of things with T1s and T2s. That's fair. Fuck it.
Well,
The
why wouldn't
So much for
you-
tier 11 Iros and Kings.
Exactly. Fuck them.
Poor Jello.
Well, you could also make it so another rule could be it has to be a level 60 commander.
Yeah, but like it doesn't mean anything. Like when they changed it to level 39, that changed nothing.
Well, you're spending
39
it's
and what
just
was 500 tier 1, that changed nothing at all
yeah,
when they
it's
did that
just
because it was a stupid solution.
well, I'm not saying it'd be the only solution, but yeah, making it so it's level 60. I mean, you're gonna spend more gold healing. It's
Right,
not
but like you're not a level 21 arc, you can't even send a level 60 comp. That shouldn't be a factor because technically not all players had level 60 comps. Real players. I mean, they
How do you,
should, but you know what I mean. They
well,
can't enforce that.
what? Okay, okay. If you're telling me they can't enforce that, then what the fuck is the point of them doing all this shit they do, making it so like you can be
No,
completely
I mean
overpowered?
that specific rule would block any player who just started from participating, whether they're an alt or not.
They
Because not all
closed
arts
servers can't
have level 60.
participate anyway.
Huh? Well,
What do you
they
mean
might
by
want to try. Not saying they'd win.
no? I mean, what do you mean by just started? Because just started is
I
closed,
mean,
and
what
closed can't participate
the
anyway.
arc level? Let me look. Arc level, commander level. Where's that
Bye,
at?
Jay.
You
Happy
you have to
Thanksgiving.
be you have to be level 20 in order to have max commander, and you can
Right.
get level 20
So
on closed
anyone
server.
below that.
If you can't get level 20 on a even by open server, then fucking quit the game.
Man, I had,
Well,
yeah.
I agree, but you can't. You can say that, but technically, there's still players who have the right to play the game. You can't just block them from playing.
No, but what I'm saying is,
I mean,
in order to
you
get
can.
when we're talking about Cassitan, in order to get from to Cassitan, you've got to be on open server anyway, and that's how many months? If you can't
5.
get if you can't get to
More
level
than-
20, and you're also adding in the stipulation of they have to own a capital, what guild is going to have non-level 20 at the bare minimum players and own a capital?
You have to. I can't log in.
Like, do you see what I'm saying?
I
Like,
don't know.
it's
Well, if they own a capital, someone gave them that capital to begin with. If you're enforcing that rule, you have to assume that there's smaller players in a smaller guild that the bigger guild let take a capital.
yeah.
So,
And
so the way that I would see it is if I was running that cast, the cap rule, right? You just let your weenie guilds hold those caps, and then they help you weenie in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And then you take them back at the last couple days, right? Like,
but like, I
What are
understand.
you eating?
I understand what you're saying about like locking people out of the game, but like that's literally what Seven Pirates does is lock people out of the
Yep.
game.
Right. I wouldn't recommend any rule that specific that actually blocks a player from participating in the game.
Well, that like expressly blocks them, like it's a written rule, but like if we're gonna be completely honest, like that's all 7P does is like, but they don't actually write it down. You know what I mean? But that's all they do is block people out.
Yes, but
I get what you're saying. I'm just like,
rule that specific that would intentionally block any player who doesn't spend, who's smaller, from being able to do anything at all.
you don't have,
Yeah.
but like the argument is based on if they can't get to level 20 by the time they reach open server, which you literally have to just not play the game to not be able to reach level 20.
I mean, yeah, for level 20,
They're
I,
right.
I
You
didn't
play the game.
spend it all when I created a new account just for fun, like just because I wanted to have the reminisce. And I mean, it's level 22 already, right? That was 9 months, no spending, 9 months, just
Like
attacking and just destroying everything, right? Like,
I was level 20 by the time I got to open, and I don't spend. Like level 20 is so much less, or level 21 it's so much more expensive than 20. And like it's not hard
and I think
to
they
do.
had it was like you had to be to even be able to join, Cassitan. I thought it was 18, level 18 or something like that. Maybe it is
Is
20
it?
now, but it was level 18. I thought there was a cap requirement. You had to be a specific level to be able to get into Cassitan. I think
Is
it's eight.
the thing?
I think it's Arc 18. It's a thing because I force pushed, like I just dropped guild and slaughtered everything in my path to be able to get to that, arc into cast.
I feel like if they're gonna do that, they might as well jump it up to 21 and say
We might as well. Because you know what it would do? It would force players to work together to be able to get their accounts into cast.
Yeah, and like all I'm saying is like they already lock people out of content, so like it's not that big of a deal if they just
I mean, it really isn't. Like if you look at the spending, caps. There was like 10 of them in a row that literally were just.
yeah, like let's be honest, if you don't spend on this game, getting locked out of content isn't gonna make you spend. Like you're just not gonna spend. And you're gonna find another game,
And you're just,
and then you're gonna do that anyway.
or you're just gonna hoard. You're gonna hoard and save, and then wait for an event like this event, right? You're gonna save for 4 months, and then you're gonna get something. You can get something decent if you were saving the entire time.
Yeah, it's like they already soft lock people out of so much content that like if you're gonna quit, you're gonna quit. If you're not gonna spend, you're not gonna spend. So like, why not make it better for people that are?
I haven't been that for in so long that I honestly don't know what the plight is anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
it's exactly right. Like I will spend $6 a week is what I spend, right? I get 100 worm crystals a week. That's my spending limit on Arc of War. $6 a week. So I can still continue growing my account. I can still do whatever else. Like, and it's not a big deal. $6 is a latte and my thing. I get free coffee at work. That's kind of how I think about it, right? Like,
yeah, and like you're gonna spend that no matter what.
correct. It's gonna get spent, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna be on my main on a main account. It might be on a secondary account on another planet, right? So, but that's my limit.
And that's like the same thing I'm saying. Like, I could spend $6 a week. I'm not gonna do it. Like this, like
Correct.
you will spend $6 because you're gonna spend $6. I will never do it.
Yep.
Not that I can't afford $6 a week. I'm just not gonna do it. It's the same way when you like look at it from like the Cassitan point of view. Like you're either gonna do it or you're not.
And I do think it's different depending on like what guilds you're in, right? Like if you're in a bigger guild, there is this perception and this kind of like low key drive to have to spend a little bit, right? Because you want to kind of stay relevant, right? Like if you don't spend, like I didn't spend for two seasons, and thankfully I was collecting and doing whatever else to try to be relevant, but like I could have been much more relevant. I mean, I was a Hancock main until just recently, right? Like Hancock has been irrelevant for 3 seasons, probably 4.
Fucking
So,
Hancock, man.
I told
but
you
you know
that.
what? But I know, but you know what it was good for? It was good for allowing me to get all my ace medals, to be able to get all the other things I needed to get, to be able to get equipment chests, to be able to get everything else. Like I could clear ace, 15 times a day. Easily.
Oh! There's another use for dim light. Dim light wrecks endless on Stella.
Absolutely.
On Stella
So, like,
specifically.
There's
I'm
things
I'm ready
that
for
you
another
can
angle.
do to play your game the way that you want to that may not be, what you would think in a bigger guild, right? Like you can
I am
run
ready
a
for another
commander that you want and be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do because of that.
If you're an infantry player and you have tier 12 unlocked, I don't care who your main is, you should have a Stella with enough dodge and a dim light. If you have enough dodge and a dim light on Stella, you can kill some things that you would be like, oh, that you
It's true. I mean, even as a walker, like I'm very close to opening 212 infantry. And that's what I'm going to do. Like Stella's my first command. That's my utility commander. I'm going with Transcenders. Absolutely.
Stella's really good.
because I swear they've been shadow nerfing Hancock in Endless since
into the ground, dude. I could
Said-
barely get to where I was last time with the same everything and improved gear and more troops.
more troops, more lead, more gear, and I was stonewalling with Hancock like.
I was like,
And then-
I'm running dodge attack. I'm running a dodge attack trigger rate Hancock, and I was struggling to get back to where I was. I was like, that's not. There's something going
Exactly.
on here.
And the only reason I got slightly further than I did last time was because my Stella basically did all of the work because I main Stella. She did literally almost all of the work. Hancock didn't do crap for me last Endless, which is
Yeah.
kind of sad.
I'm ready for another endless. I'm ready to see how my combos do endless now.
Wait, they nerfed Hancock and Endless?
Dude, Hancock
Like-
has been. It's like they nerf 10% of his effectiveness every single time Endless comes around.
Yeah. He.
So at this point, it's negative 10%. You still have to have him. Right?
It's bad. Like you're still gonna run them, but you might as well run a giant sister wolf at that point.
Like, I will say, infantry have it good for Endless. Infantry are lucky.
Yeah, look at. I think Harris usually struggles with it. Well, he might not now with Black, but he was running Orochi the last time, and you just can't do the. If you're a tank, when you're a tank airship, you just can't do the damage. Like it just doesn't happen.
Infantry, even like if you main Craig, if you put a dim light on Craig and you're using wings, you could probably get really far in Endless.
Yeah.
You just have to have enough dodge and enough damage to ramp that skill. There's a lot. Most of the commanders can't
I
hit
think
you.
RP cleared through most of it with that.
Well, do we have any more questions or anything like that? We've been on here for quite a while today.
We've meandered around multiple unimportant subjects.
It's been an hour and 36 minutes, and I think we had one question at the very start. We've just been rambling.
Sorry,
Hey, we went on it. Yeah.
it's the first
Well,
one I've
hey.
been able to get to for a minute. So
Hey, there was a lot of knowledge thrown around though, so that's a good thing.
there was, and a lot of fake knowledge to
It was
keep 'em off
very
track.
entertaining as well.
Yeah, run roach. Yeah,
Run Orochis.
yeah,
To sum it
all
up,
roaches.
run Orochis
That's-
and Crackerots.
Please.
yes.
Hey,
A
don't
kid,
sleep.
yeah,
don't sleep on
exactly.
Kakarot.
Bunch of kids.
Yeah, don't
Kakarot,
sleep on-
Orochi, and King.
King Kakarot. They're gonna give us a trident, and then you're gonna see Soda Mains come back too. So
To be
Hey, man,
honest,
I will run Soda Man if they
I
if
will
they boost
too.
their skills.
If they could boost his skills or give me an accessory to boost his skills, like they did with Mary. Now, if that would have been a Mary Soda Man headpiece that doubled his skill thing, done.
Double the trigger rate. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, done.
Soda
Running
Man
it.
all day.
Soda Man everywhere.
With that skill, with that one skill, yeah, man. Oh, it'd be disgusting.
it's like
So
okay, so we're back to the era of Reinhardt. Only this time it's walkers.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely. You know what? Fuck y'all. I'll take it.
But
Something new.
Reinhardt
Walkers
with
are-
status quo instead of absolute defense would be worse.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that'd be fucking
Wait, would that be
awesome,
like
dude.
a T? Could you run a T10 T10 airship walker or a T10 airship soda man?
Technically.
Absolute
No.
defense.
Technically.
Now
Yeah, you could.
Technically, you could. It'd be gross.
It'd be so squishy.
Not with fucking AD.
Oh, you could run T11 walker. You could run T11 walkers.
Yeah.
No, absolute defense doesn't
Oh no,
work.
absolute defense doesn't work. That's right. Yep.
Oh.
Never mind. Disregard. Disregard false knowledge.
So you
Or
could
drone.
run tier 10 air would be the highest you could run on a soda man with absolute defense. But tier 10 air is so easy to kill even with absolute defense.
Unfortunately, yes.
So, let us have fun. Leave us alone.
Soda
Soda Man. Soda Man. Skill
Soda
boost,
man. Soda man.
Petition.
Been petitioning the devs for that for 4 years now, man. They say that. They just keep telling me they'll look into it, and they never do. They're liars.
Yeah, they don't do shit.
That's why we got everybody that watches this one. We gotta push for Soda Man to have a skill upgrade.
Yeah, screw your bans that you want to do or non-spending whatever. Push for Soda Man.
Yes.
Make
Make him relevant.
Cerberus great again. Make Cerberus great again.
Yeah, makes Cerberus great. So that was my original. That was my original commander in this game. That was the first commander I released. That was A.
Exactly.
And I was like, damn, I'm gonna be. Oh my god, this commander's terrible. Let me go. And then I restarted the game over with the Snuggles account, and I was like, yeah, never doing that again.
Where's Thunder Ray? I like Thunder Ray. He was
Dude,
my first
Thunder Ray.
main.
So Thunder Ray back in the day was really like when they first introduced skills, T10 as a walker or like an infantry with wings. Oh my god. The ramp up, like that ramp up damage before DR was so good.
I loved it.
That was the same with Exorcist. When you could
And-
get all those when you get with the wings and get the triggers, oh my god, like
Back
That's the reason why a
before
lot of the damage.
where Tick was king. Before penetration came out.
before penetration in DR, yeah, when it was just attack and defense and like just that 1/1, right? Oh, it's so nice. DR
I still
ruined
use-
everything.
I still use Lightblade on my plasma at level 30. It does nothing, but it does almost nothing because it never triggers.
Yeah. Oh.
It's 45% attack and accuracy. It's not a terrible force skill for plasma. It's just it never triggers.
God. All right, I'm gonna get back to work. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Later. That was a good convo.
Ugh. Yeah, that was like a 5-minute question at the start, and then an hour and 30 minutes of us just rambling.
Hey, it's interesting rambling though. It's not like
Well, yeah,
that.
no, yeah.
Oh God, this is.
Gonna be interesting to see what Grinch cuts out and what he leaves in, because a lot of that was pretty entertaining.
Oh, it's
Because
all
if
staying in.
we cut out Lem.
I mean, it was all on topic.
Yeah, most of it was.
Soda Man. Damn it.
On Dalrai buff.
I think, like, I don't know who is gonna watch this video this long, but if you are still watching this video, I want everybody that views this video to make a ticket, ask them to bring back Soda Man. Buff to Soda Man. Send me
And
screenshots.
buff, yes. Trigger rate to buff.
Right, it'll take you 2 minutes to send a ticket in. I want you to screenshot it, DM it to me, and I will make like a montage of all the screenshots. Do it. I usually get about 100 to 150 views on these things. Do it.
Since I never watch these videos because I'm in them, I won't.
Well, I didn't figure you'd do it anyway.
No.
Me? I don't want him coming back. Nuh-uh.
What?
Soda
I'm
Man,
an
man. You gotta come back.
Infantry main. I do not want any more tank walkers ever.
Yes, come on, let's go.
Like, I'm not even an infantry main. I'm a Stella main. Like, I hate status quo.
Too bad.
Petition for Soda Man, damn it.
Yes, everybody send a
Like-
ticket for Soda Man.
Geneva in Ace of the Galaxy with no stars, and I couldn't beat him because I mained Stella. If I mained Gilly, I probably would have hit hard enough to beat him.
You ran
Neko.
up against me?
If I mained Neko, I would have hit hard enough to beat you. But just because I run Stella, never will it happen.
Well, if we can get Soda Man back next time, we'll do Cerberus. How about that?
Yes.
And then Dalrai.
No. We'll never bring
Yes.
Darai out. No, we're not gonna bring him out.
Yes, we are.
No.
Okay, I'm not sending anything about Soda Man to help desk to 7 parts.
Do
That's
it.
fine because they don't listen to us anyway.
Right? Like, there could be 1,000 of us, and they'd be like, "Yeah, we're not doing that." You guys want us to work? We have to code stuff?
Or bring out a calm like Soda Man with those similar skills, but with a much higher trigger rate.
Yeah,
Actually,
do
I
what
don't.
they could do what they did to Rocket. Just bring out a better version and slap the old commander in the face.
They
Pretty
need to come
much.
up with an infantry commander that can block enemy debuffs and such. It's like basically tell Orochi, Elf, and Craig to fuck.
We're good. We don't need that.
Yes, we do.
All right. Well,
Well,
I think
we're good.
I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
It's been an hour and 45 minutes. All right.
No time, no time.
Has anybody
Well,
got
thank
anything they
everybody for
wanna?
joining us. For
Nope. Go ahead.
you go ahead.
No, you're good.
All right. I just want to thank everybody for joining us today, and thank you everybody that's going to be listening. Make sure you're liking Grinch's channel, subscribing to Grinch's channel, and other than that, I'm Neva, and I'm out.
Bye.
There we go. Yeah. Mhm.
All right, everybody. I'm Batman.